Okay, think about this for a second. Can we ever really, truly shake off those labels we get stuck with as teenagers? You know, the athlete, the brain, the outsider. Those lines felt so absolute, didn't they?
Yeah, they really did. And that whole feeling, the loyalty, the kind of trauma of growing up divided,
Yeah.
that's exactly what fueled one of the most important young adult books ever written.
So today we're actually trying something a bit new for us. We're doing a really comprehensive, extended summary.
That's right. It's different from our usual reviews, which are more focused analysis. This time, we're giving you the big picture, the background, the main arguments, the impact, all of it.
Exactly. Think of it as a full overview. And hey, if you like this deeper format, let us know, okay? Your feedback really does help us figure out what to do next.
So the book we're diving into is S.E. Hinton's The Outsiders. It came out back in 1967 and basically launched the whole genre of realistic YA fiction. It's all told in this incredibly gripping first-person voice.
And just so you know, what you're hearing right now is actually a unique two-host AI conversation. We're powered by Google's NotebookLM, aiming to give you these deeper, more dynamic book summaries.
Pretty cool tech helping us unpack this classic.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Hinton places us in Tulsa, Oklahoma, during the 1960s, and the city itself is rigidly divided.
Totally. You've got the greasers, they're the working class kids, poor, living over on the east side. Think rundown houses, not much opportunity.
And then on the flip side, the west side, you have the Socs. That's short for socials. They're the privileged ones.
Wealthy families, nice cars, a definite sense of owning the place. And this divide, this economic and geographical split, it's not just background noise, it's everything. It drives the conflict.
And our guide through all this is the narrator, Ponyboy Curtis. He's just 14, an orphan, pretty sensitive, loves books and movies.
And he's really struggling, isn't he? Trying to figure out who he is, caught between loyalty to his greaser buddies and this feeling that maybe there's something more out there for him.
The story kicks off fast, like really fast. Ponyboy's walking home alone from a movie.
Which you just didn't do if you're a greaser.
Exactly. And boom, a carload of Socs jumps him. This scene immediately shows you the reality. For greasers, violence is just always there. They're targets just for existing.
And that attack, it throws us right into his family situation, which is complicated but vital. His older brothers save him. There's Derry.
He's the oldest, only 20, super athletic, but had to give up college. He's the stern guardian figure.
Right, trying to hold it all together. Then there's Soda Pop, the middle brother,
Yep.
16, movie star handsome, dropped out of high school.
And along with them are their friends, Johnny, Dally, Steve, Two-Bit, this crew, this gang. They're his real family in a lot of ways, bound by this intense loyalty.
It's a chosen family, forged out of necessity, really. Derry's trying to maintain a traditional structure, but the street provides its own kind of bond.
So after that terrifying start, things shift a little. The next night, Ponyboy and Johnny are at a drive-in movie.
And they actually start talking to a couple of sock girls, Cherry Valance and Marcia, which is unexpected.
Totally unexpected. And Cherry Valance becomes this really key figure.
Oh, absolutely. She's smart, she seems genuinely empathetic, and importantly, she's the girlfriend of Bob Sheldon, one of the Socs who jumped Ponyboy.
So she kind of opens a window into the sock world for Ponyboy.
She does. She's the one who tells him that famous line, "Things are rough all over." And she points out they watch the same sunset. It's this moment of connection, suggesting maybe those class lines aren't as solid as they seem.
But wait, isn't the book mostly showing how the greasers face, actual physical danger that the Socs just don't? How does Hinton balance that connection with the violence?
That's the core tension, isn't it? Cherry might see the same sunset, but her boyfriend and his friends are still capable of terrible violence. That moment of connection feels fragile because it is fragile.
And it doesn't last. The tension keeps building until, well, something really bad happens. Confrontation with Bob and Randy and some other Socs.
Yeah, deadly one. And suddenly, Ponyboy and Johnny are fugitives. They have to run.
And the person they turn to is Dallas Winston. Dally.
Right. Dally's the hardened one, the one who knows the system, knows how to survive on the streets. Probably because he spent time in jail, he doesn't hesitate.
He gives them money, a gun, tells them where to go. He basically pushes them onto this path.
He guides them out of the city to an old abandoned church in a rural place called Windricksville. And this change of scenery is crucial.
How so?
Well, getting away from the city out into nature, it's like a temporary escape from those labels.
Yeah?
Greaser, Santakali, out there in the quiet of the church, those identities start to feel a little less sticky.
They even try to disguise themselves, right? Cutting their hair, bleaching Ponyboy.
Exactly. Physically trying to shed that greaser look. And they have time to think, to talk, to process what happened. And crucially, they read.
Yes, Gone with the Wind. It seems like an odd choice for two boys on the run. Why that book?
It taps into this idea of lost nobility, maybe. A yearning for something grander, more honorable than their current lives. It shows Ponyboy's sensitivity, his desire for meaning.
And it connects to that Robert Frost poem, too, doesn't it? Nothing gold can stay.
Precisely. Ponyboy recites it while watching a sunrise. That moment, using Frost, it lifts the story beyond just gang fights. It becomes this reflection on innocence, how quickly it fades, especially under pressure.
Let's circle back to the Greasers themselves, that core group. Their relationships are so central. Like Johnny Cade.
Johnny, yeah. He's described as the gang's pet, almost. Quiet, comes from a really abusive home. But he's got this inherent goodness, maybe. And Dally is fiercely protective of him.
Which tells you a lot about Dally, too.
For sure. Dallas Winston, or Dally, he's only 17, but he acts much older, much tougher. He's got this criminal record, this hard shell. But underneath, especially when it comes to Johnny, you see this deep capacity for care, even if it's rough around the edges.
His toughness is a direct result of the life he's had to live.
Absolutely. It shows how that constant hardship just grinds people down, turns vulnerability into something that looks like cynicism.
And then there's the Curtis brothers. Derry, Soda, and Ponyboy. The dynamic there is intense.
It really is. Derry, at 20, carrying the weight of being the guardian. He's so hard on Ponyboy.
Yeah, it often seems like he resents him, almost.
But you realize it comes from fear. Fear of losing them. Fear of the authority stepping in. Fear of not being good enough as a parent figure. He gave up everything for them.
His sacrifice is huge. It highlights that working class reality where you can't always afford softness. Survival comes first.
And meanwhile, other guys like Two-Bit Matthews. He's the Joker, always ready with a wisecrack. But he also always carries that switchblade.
Right, the symbols are important, the switchblades, the greased hair, the Socs, fancy cars like Mustangs and Corvairs, even Cherry's red hair.
Yeah.
They all signify something about identity and belonging.
Definitely. And that need for the switchblade, it just underscores that constant feeling of threat, the lack of trust in anything outside their own group for protection.
So all this intensity, the loyalty, the fear, the underlying violence, it all builds while they're hiding out in that church. And then comes this moment of unexpected heroism.
Right. Just as you're seeing them as fugitives, shaped by violence, the church catches fire, and there are school kids trapped inside.
And without even thinking, Ponyboy and Johnny run in.
They do. They run into a burning building to save children they don't even know. It's this incredibly brave, selfless act.
It completely flips the script on who they are, doesn't it? It shows their character is way more than just Greaser or Hood.
It's a powerful counter-narrative, pure heroism, cutting right through those social labels. A moment of real gold, you might say.
It's a crucial pause, proving character transcends class before everything crashes down again.
And speaking of pausing, at this point in our comprehensive summary, maybe take a moment yourself to think about what heroism really means and how identity gets formed and challenged. You're listening to an in-depth summary from us, but remember you can also check out Mindful Moments. That's our YouTube channel. We do AI, book analysis, summaries, critiques. It's all about inspiring reflection and rational thought. Really valuable for aspiring authors, too.
Okay, so after the fire, the heroism, reality bites back hard. They're injured, especially Johnny.
Yeah, they end up in the hospital back in Tulsa. And suddenly they're kind of local heroes, but also still facing the consequences of Bob's death. It's incredibly confusing and emotional.
Family visits, gang members visit, all these complex feelings are bubbling up.
And the underlying conflict hasn't gone away. In fact, it's about to explode. The Greasers are gearing up for the big rumble against the Socs.
This isn't just another fight, is it? It feels like the climax of all that simmering tension.
It is. It's presented as this massive release of all the fear, the anger, the frustration from both sides. But honestly, the internal struggles become much more significant than who wins the fight.
Especially for Ponyboy. He's dealing with so much after the fire and the rumble. His health is suffering.
Physically and mentally. He's injured, concussed, exhausted. And he's got this court hearing hanging over him about Bob's death. The trauma is immense.
Plus, the tension with Derry is still there, maybe even worse. He's struggling in school. It's just a lot for a 14-year-old.
Way too much. And this brings us to the core themes. Why this book still hits so hard. Hinton is looking right at the damage done by class struggle, by these rigid social barriers.
And the importance of family, not just blood relatives, but the families you choose, the loyalty you build.
Exactly. And the impact of violence, obviously.
Yeah.
But also the challenges of just growing up, finding your place. And ultimately, it's a powerful call for empathy. Look past the labels.
See the person underneath the greaser jacket or the fancy sock clothes?
Yeah. See the shared humanity, the shared struggles, even if they manifest differently.
The book really makes you think about how trauma changes you and how maybe finding a way to tell your story is the only way to make sense of it.
Which brings us perfectly to the ending in that unique structure you mentioned, the whole story we've just gone through.
It turns out to be the essay Ponyboy is writing for his English class.
Precisely. The act of writing is his way of processing everything. The violence, the loss, Dally's fate, Johnny's final message, his relationship with Derry. It all gets poured onto the page.
So writing becomes his path to understanding, to maybe answering that question we started with, can you escape the labels?
Maybe not escape entirely, but understand them. Understand the people behind them. Find your own voice amidst the noise. It's a brilliant narrative device.
And the book's legacy, it's huge. It was pretty controversial when it first came out, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. People weren't used to YA books being that realistic about teen violence, class conflict, underage drinking, the language. But now, it's a staple in schools everywhere. A true classic.
Adapted into that iconic 1983 movie.
And even a Broadway musical just recently, in 2024. That shows you how much these themes still resonate across generations.
Absolutely. Its power hasn't faded at all.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. If Ponyboy's defining tragedy was losing his parents young, why does the story he needs to tell focus so intensely on the gang conflict, on the Socs and Greasers?
That's interesting.
The book kind of forces us to consider how these societal labels, Greaser, Sock, can become more powerful, more defining than even traditional family ties, especially when things get tough. How quickly those labels can dictate your fate, or maybe, just maybe, how they can dissolve in moments of shared crisis or understanding. It's something to think about its relevance today.
Definitely something to think about. We really hope you found this expanded summary format useful. Let us know what you think. And hey, click the link on screen to subscribe, share, maybe purchase the book through the link, and keep thinking rationally.
See the many genre-based book podcasts at Mindful Moments. Subscribe and nourish your mind on the go.